Well, welcome back. We are now going to look at a one-stop shop for all. One of the difficult things we realized as we were going through this process of doing competency-based theological education is when you've got workflow documents and you've got shared drives and you've got learning experiences with the LMS and you've got master assessments, and it's like it was so hard to navigate and to figure things out that one of the students actually created a document for us that helped us all to navigate. And so we were very thankful for that. Thank you, Ted. And as a result, we now use this, and it's called a journey log. Other different locations of the world can call it what they want. But this journey log has all the key documents and information necessary in one place. And so that's what I want to introduce to you now. And then I will have a part 2 on the video, and that is going to really focus on what makes CBTE very unique. But first, I just want to introduce you to the document. It's called the Journey Log. So let me share that with you. And I'll just try to give you a few of the features by just looking at the tabs. And you can see here that the Journey Log has what do you call those kind of documents? It's an Excel sheet, and on the bottom here you've got a number of tabs, right? So we have assessment overviews, proficiencies, pre-evaluation, learning experiences, mentor meeting log, post-evaluation outcomes, then master assessments, okay? So I'm going to show you all those, but each of those is something that I've already introduced to you in earlier videos, and so it'll be important for you to try to integrate. This will be a point of integration, right? So this first page with this first tab, assessment overview, that allows me as a faculty mentor, or if you're a mentor, a life or vocational mentor, to look and see, oh, where are they in this character outcome? It has a drop-down menu. Have they completed the first one, Knowing Yourself Master Assessment? If not, then it'll be marked no. And then you can see here, have they completed? There's only one, either yes, they have completed the character outcome master assessment, or they haven't. So this is just gives you a quick snapshot of where your student is. Second, or if you're a student, for you to track where you are. The next tab is your proficiencies in pre-evaluation. Now, this is a very critical part, and it leads into the second video. I'll introduce it and we'll talk about it in a subsequent video. But I want you just to see how this is set up. We said that each character outcome, there's 7, each character outcome has 3 competencies. So if you look here in the gray, you have competency 1, and it tells you what it is, spiritual formation, right? And then you have competency number 2, spiritual multiplication. Then you have competency number 3, spiritual impact in society. This is a BA/MA journey log, okay? At the very top, you'll have the character outcome, maturing disciple maker. You'll have the student's name, and you'll have the mentor's team's names and links to their things, okay? To their emails. Then we now know that we've got the competency here. We've got the actual competency, its description. And then for the BA program, we know that for competency 1, there are going to be 2 learning experiences. One is called Knowing Yourself, and the other one is going to be Christian spirituality. Then you're going to have these things called proficiencies. And if you recall in an earlier video, we said proficiencies, this is what the student or you as a mentor can expect of your student. This is what they'll be learning holistically, head, heart, and hands in this outcome. And so you can see that they'll discover and grow in understanding of your gifts and abilities and personality. You'll consider ways in which you can enhance your strengths and minimize your weaknesses, and you reflect on your contribution to the kingdom of God. And then what they can do is they can evaluate themselves based on that. But most importantly, after they do that, is they want to say, based on this whole outcome, the BA, they call them outcomes. In the orange, which is the MA, we call those character outcomes. In the outcome, what would they define as mastery? What do they want to achieve in this area of knowing themselves? So this is what we want to see for them, but they may want something that's entirely different, and they would make note of that here. And this is what customizes every student's journey of discipleship and makes it distinct from every other student's journey of discipleship. And so they will work with a mentor team and they will fill this out. They will do the same for Christian spirituality. They'll do that here. And they'll do that through all these, right? And what you're going to find is they may say, hey, this is fine. And so there's nothing that they want out of that one. But this one for Christian spirituality, this one they may have, hey, this is really what I want. I don't see that listed here. I want to try this as a way of life, as a practice that I have. Maybe it's memorizing entire books of the Bible. And that's something they want to do. But we're not asking them to do that. But that's a spiritual discipline they want to develop. So they would do that. And then in addition to that, we'll go through this part later. But that makes it very distinct. So these are the proficiencies that we want from them and that they too want from themselves. Then you go to the next one, and this is the actual learning experiences. How are those proficiencies going to be fleshed out? Well, in knowing yourself, right? That's the learning experience and the outcome. Then we say, here's the purpose of that. And then here we said is the indicators. They will know if they know themselves, if they can demonstrate a growing understanding of one's gifts, abilities, and personality. If they go through this whole thing and they don't have any clue what their gifting is or their personality, then they're not ready to go on for their master assessment. So this indicator is looking back, saying, okay, they've gone through it. Now have they actually accomplished this? Can they indicate in their life that they have accomplished this? In addition to that, you can see that the actual learning, what is required of them, the work to complete, which you'll find on the workflow document, is also represented here. And then you can say either it's incomplete or it's in progress or whatever. There's a drop-down menu here, which isn't dropping down for me right now, but they can do that. And they can write comments, and that allows me to see that they've done the learning experience. They know what is coming up. And then this is a really critical part. Every time the student, if you're a student listening to this, you need to make sure that every time you meet with your mentor, that this gets filled out. If you are a mentor, every time you meet with a student, it's the student's responsibility to make sure this gets filled out. It gives you the date of the meeting, who was meeting, what kind of mentor you were meeting with. Then it's also going to tell you the topics that were discussed, a meeting summary, and then either the student or the mentors can make comments. But this way, that if I, as the faculty mentor, I'm not going to be in your life mentor meetings, I'm not going to be in the vocational mentor meetings, but I can go here and I can see very quickly what you have been talking to your mentors about, or mentors what you've been discussing with the students. And so this is a very critical aspect of the journey log. The next thing is the post-outcome evaluation. And here we want to try to make leading into the time of the master assessment more objective. Did they actually accomplish their indicators? Did they accomplish that first box where they define mastery? Did they accomplish that? And then we want to give them a score. This will give them an objective score, so when they actually go into the master assessment and they self-assess or we assess them, we have a basis for that assessment. And then you actually have the master assessment form. This is what I showed you earlier in a different video. You have it for the student, you have it for the mentor or the mentors. And what you can see though is this has all those key documents in one area. And that's what makes this so valuable. And when Ted created this for not only himself, but for all the other students and for us as mentors, it really helped all of us to do our jobs better. And so I want to encourage you to really begin to learn what this is about and just the power that this tool has. It allows you to go to one place and not have to have all these different documents and all these different links. Your student can be the one who gets you connected to any part of this document, but it's a very important part of their journey, and that's why we call it a journey log. In the second part, I will explain to you more about that master, defining mastery and what all that is about. But just on this video, all I want to do is make sure you have clarity as to what the journey log is and what the different tabs are and its benefit. Thanks.